In this video, I will explain to you how to use the ACE writing template to answer the focus question, how did Roman achievements impact our modern world? Now you will notice that there is one example here that you will do along with me, and then you're going to practice the skill below with a different achievement. At this point, you have completed the annotations for the source, the lasting impact of the Roman Empire. And based on how we annotated, we can identify 3 different achievements: the Republic, engineering, and Roman law. So for the first one, we are going to talk about the Roman Republic. And then for your second writing piece, you can choose either one of the other 2. So let's focus on our paragraph frame. The A in ACE means answer the question directly. So here it says, how did Roman achievements impact our modern world? And here's a sentence frame that we could use, but I always like thinking, how can I improve on the sentence frame if it's possible? This one says the most impactful, but our question doesn't ask us which one's the most impactful. It just wants us to tell us how these achievements impacted our modern world. So I'm going to change it up a bit. Let's go ahead and create one text box. It's always best to do one text box for these paragraphs, and you'll understand more later. And instead of saying the most impactful, I'm just going to say one of the most impactful. And I can say Roman achievements. I can say achievements of the Roman Empire. And the answer was Republic. So we're going to talk about the Republic. And at this point, there's no need to elaborate. We're just stating what our claim is by answering the question directly. Next, we will cite. And you see here, there are 3 options for citing. Sometimes you'll say source instead of document, or you might be citing from a video, so you'll say video. I'm going to choose the second one that says the document entitled blank states. So I am putting the title in quotations, and the source is called The Lasting Impact of the Roman Empire. And before I continue, I just want to explain that the title is in title case. So the first letter of each word should be capitalized. So once you type it, double check. The word of and the are not capitalized unless they're at the beginning of the title. And so now what we are going to do is find something from our source that supports the opinion that the Roman Republic was an impactful achievement. So now we will scroll up to our reading to find information to use in our citation. When we scroll up, we will only focus on the paragraph on the Republic, because the other 2 can be used for other writing should we choose. So in this paragraph, it states that citizens were able to elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. They had a civic duty and were expected to vote, serve in the military, serve on a jury, and pay taxes. And then the underlined parts refer to how it had the lasting impact. So in our citation, we're going to first describe the Roman Republic, and then when we elaborate, we're going to connect it to the essential question where it asks, how did it impact our modern world? So let's go ahead and continue with our citation. The source, entitled The Lasting Impact of the Roman Empire, states, Roman citizens had a voice in their government, by electing officials to make decisions on their behalf. Now we're going to elaborate. And here are some sentence options. If you would like to use that to elaborate, this shows, in other words, this proves my claim because, in essence, as a result, I think I'm going to use the words as a result, but I'm going to change it a little bit. So I'm going to talk about how it influenced many of our modern democracies, like the US, that created governments that protect the rights of citizens and believe that government should serve the people. So instead of saying as a result, I'm going to say this resulted in modern democracies like the United States adopting similar government systems. So I'm elaborating, but when you elaborate, we need to have a couple sentences. So generally it's about 2 to 3 sentences. For example, in our government, citizens elect people to govern and understand they should serve citizens. And at this point, we have answered the question directly, stated our claim, we've cited from our source, and then we have elaborated. So we use the information from our source to explain how the Roman Republic had a lasting impact on the Roman Empire. It's really important that when we elaborate, we always double check to make sure what our question is. How did the Roman achievements impact our modern world? So we need to add additional information that truly answers that question. Okay, so now that you've had practice here, you can choose one of the other achievements, either engineering or Roman law, and do the same thing here.